at Cy Smith at shopisiswisdom.com. I'm gonna post it here in the chat, so that way you guys can go check out the new offerings I have on the website. shopisiswisdom.com. It's in the chat. I've been doing some thinking and reflecting and observation. Does it ever seem like to you that you're breaking ground with yourself when you're in your process of your healing? You're breaking ground and you see the progress that you're making. And you got other people around you that's a part of your team, or other people that's around you that could be your soul tribe, or what have you, extended family, and you see the progress that you're making. You make your steps, you give yourself a little pat on the back, and then right as it seems like you're finally getting over this hump, here comes some more bullshit around the corner. I'm gonna have to ban this user that's in the chat trying to pretend to be me. The audacity of these people never ceases to amaze me. They all this a scamming as an all-time high. But nonetheless, it seems like that when you're making progress with yourself and everything seems to be cool, there always seems to be something around the corner that's like a nagging energy. And you can't quite put your finger on what it is just yet, but there's always some lingering energy or some lingering person floating around in the background. Like it's like this background noise. And you know it's there. And you're trying to do everything in your power just to be the person that you know you are to be, right? And next thing you know, it begins to amplify itself, and you're around these people and all of their unhealedness, and they decide to develop an issue with you. No really valid reason as to why they're developing an issue with you, but they decide to develop an issue with you because they have issues going on with themselves. The reason why I titled this live The Boogeyman is because I have been really observing people very carefully as of late. And there seems to be this theme that there is a boogeyman around the corner. When you speak truth to someone, whether they want to hear it or not, because they're in their unhealed state, their perception is skewed about the person who gave them the truth. And so here comes the boogeyman around the corner. I have a question for y'all. Do you think it's okay to go through life without any kind of accountability? And I want you guys to be totally and 100% honest with me about that. Do you think it's cool to go through life without any type of accountability? In other words, what I'm saying to you is, do you think it's okay to go out here and hurt people and then not own up to the shit that you do? Do you think that maybe there may be some actions that you may have taken because you don't have the ability to see how you are in your unhealed state, and you're projecting the boogeyman because deep down inside you're not healed? Let me tell you who the boogeyman is, since you're so busy looking for it. The boogeyman is a shadow self, or the shadow part of yourself that is unhealed. And if you're not careful with that boogeyman, you can tend to allow that boogeyman to take the lead in your life. That shadow to take the lead in your life. And if you allow your shadow self to take the lead, that's going to bring nothing but chaos and destruction, not only to the people around you, but also to yourself. Can't blessings just come and you just enjoy them? Can it just be something as simple as that? Does it always have to be a boogeyman around the corner? Does it always have to be some shit going on all the fucking time? See, when I see people in that state of mind, I say to myself, they're not at peace with themselves. And when you're not at peace with yourself, you don't want anybody else around you to be at peace with themselves either. You don't realize this. This is strictly subconscious for most people. You're pointing the finger at everybody outside of you, but yet you don't see how you come off to others. Sometimes in life, you just have to learn how to let a situation play itself out all the way to the end. How many of you guys have been down a certain road before from your past, right? Where you recognize a pattern. And because you've been hurt based upon what that person is displaying to you, you automatically assume that it's going to play out the exact same way that it played out before with the previous person. You don't never let the situation just play out to the end. See, that's something that I had to learn how to do, is allow things to play itself out in the end, to the end. And I got to that space because I had to learn to come to a place of acceptance. That's one of the biggest lessons I had to learn this year in 2022, is learning how to come to a place of acceptance of where people are and be comfortable in that. It doesn't necessarily mean that they need to be a part of your life if that where they are doesn't fit your narrative or where you're going. But I've learned to allow situations to play all the way out in the end. Because sometimes things don't turn out the way you expect them to turn out. Life is about living, and it has a lot of beautiful surprises if you allow it to happen. The problem is your trauma that you haven't healed from is too busy looking for the boogeyman. And you don't realize that the boogeyman is you. The boogeyman is that unhealed parts of you. You don't trust nobody because you don't trust yourself. You see how this works? See, whatever you're projecting out here onto other people, unless they flat out showed you that you can't trust them, I'm not saying be stupid out here. But if a person hasn't even shown you that you can't trust them, but they have an issue with you because you told them the truth about something, you need to examine why you have an issue with that. You need to examine why you have an issue with truth. You need to examine what that's really about. People don't like the truth. People hate you when you tell them the truth. People would rather live with rose-colored glasses than accept the real reality of what's staring at them in front of their face. And when you tell them the truth about a situation, you become their version of the boogeyman. When the truth of the matter is, they are the goddamn boogeyman. Being in healing is not about coming out here and pointing out people's flaws and putting people down and passing judgment on people and all that type of shit. That's not what that's about. I don't know about y'all, but I can't live in a world full of fake ass people around me in my inner circle. I can't speak for the rest of y'all. I'm talking about me. I can't do it. But you actually have people out here in the world that would rather be lied to or would rather be in the dark than to be told the truth. Well, let me ask you a question. How would it make you feel if everybody around you knew a secret about you but never told you because you're too sensitive to hear the truth? How would that make you feel? Which is worse? Ask this question, which is worse? Is it I'm going to keep my mouth shut and everybody knows what's going on with you, but no one's going to tell you what's going on with you, and everybody's just going to see you go out here and act like a motherfucking fool? Would you rather for that to happen? I want a real honest response. I'm looking at the comments. I want a real honest response from you about this. For those of you who get offended when you are being told the truth about a situation, did you ever stop to think that maybe somebody was looking out for you? Did you stop to think about what the ulterior motive would be by this person telling you this information? Did you ever stop to think how a person could possibly benefit by telling you this information? Or are you so wrapped up in your ego that you refuse to see what's staring at you in the damn face? Why do you villainize the person that tells you the truth? Is it because you're in fantasy land and somebody came and shared some information with you that's actually detrimental to your journey, your healing journey now? It's actually detrimental to your healing journey. I just want to know. You know, a lot of you guys, I'm looking at your comments, and I hope that you are really speaking truth about yourself and your core being. I really hope that you're being real about that, because life is a simulation. It will test you to see exactly where you are and exactly where your growth is. But you can't be walking around here with such a skewed perception about life and where you are that you think that everybody around you is out to fuck you up and out to get you. Sometimes folks out here are just fucking pathological liars. So when you call people out on their shit, the person that you called out on their shit, they're a pathological liar because they're operating in their fucking unhealed state. They don't want to own up to the fucked up shit they did. So they're going to tell you the lie because they don't want to own up to their own fucking shit. You can't see that because you got your heartstrings being pulled. And I'm going to tell you something about being in love with people. Being in love will get you fucked up out here if you don't have the ability to properly discern. It'll get you fucked up out here. Being in love will not allow you to see people in their proper persona. I started questioning my own shit. Like, damn, should I even open up my mouth and tell anybody anything? Should I just go ahead and let them get fucked up? And then when they crying and fucked up, and then they find out that you knew all along, how you think that person's going to respond? See, this shit is a catch-22 with people out here. It's a catch-22 situation because you're not a real friend and you wasn't looking out for the person because you knew the truth and didn't say nothing. So now you're mad because everybody knows about the truth, and now you feel like you're the laughing stock, but people didn't feel like they could come tell you the truth because you can't handle the goddamn truth. You're too busy looking for the boogeyman around the corner. But you didn't pay attention to the person's genuineness when they first met you. You didn't pay attention to the extent of kindness when they first met you. They may have taken a risk on you when you came off as a person that looked like you might possibly be a liability to them in their life. They took a risk on you and believed in you more than you believed in yourself. But then all of a sudden, that person who's been 100 with you from day one tells you something and tells you the truth about a situation, and now they're the boogeyman. Because you're in an unhealed state. Let me share something with you guys. Number one, never love anyone more than you love yourself. Because people that aren't right, that have ill intention, that sees that about you, will intentionally pull on your heartstrings to fuck you up and manipulate you and all types of shit. They'll hold a carrot dangling over your fucking eyes, making you think one thing when deep down inside, they're rotten as hell to the goddamn core because they chose not to heal themselves. And then when somebody like me or others like me come out and bring that shit up, we're the boogeyman. Discernment is key. I don't keep people around me that are going to lie to me. I don't keep people around me that don't have secrets around me. You got to go. I don't keep people around me that are not forthcoming. You got to go. I can't have that around me in my inner circle. And I'm talking about inner circle as in close friends. This ain't even got shit to do with the business. The business, I keep people at a certain distance with me when it comes to that. But personal, you cannot be in my space if you cannot operate from a space of, from an open heart space and a space of truth. And if you can't, let me tell y'all something, y'all got to stop fucking people over that showed you that they had your fucking back. If all they did was show you that they had your back, and somebody comes and tells you something negative about that person, and you don't take the time out to pay attention to how the person that they're talking about treated you, you're just as fucked up as the person that was out there starting that bullshit because you were too busy looking for the goddamn boogeyman. Oh, I knew this person wasn't genuine. Oh, I knew this person was this. Oh, I knew this person was that. And then you project all your unhealed bullshit onto everybody else. And then you feel justified in your fucking actions. Let's see, I'm going to tell you, life is funny these days, especially in the age of Aquarius. See, Aquarius has a way of exposing people in the strangest of ways, especially when you are trying to move against people that have a certain calling, if you will. Let me explain something to y'all. When you get into a healing space, when you're out here assisting people in healing, you better remember this shit. Remember this, and don't forget this for the rest of your life. When you make a conscious decision to choose to heal people, you are going to have to deal with the good, the bad, and the ugly of everything. But if your heart is in the right place and you are operating from a place of truly wanting to heal, you're going to understand the human condition. And you're going to try your best to work with that person through the space of love. However, if that person doesn't have the ability to discern that about you, and you know that you're not, you know you don't have ill intentions. You know you don't have ill intentions. You know how you are. You know you. Or at least you should know you. Because if you don't know you, you don't know the people around you. If you don't know the people around you, you don't know you. Because you attract the people around you. You attract what you are around you. How many relationships and friendships have you ruined because of this bullshit? How many of y'all live with regret now of people that really did look out for you, and then you didn't see it, so you distanced yourself from that person, or you did whatever to that person, only later on to find out that you was dead ass in the wrong? How many of you guys has been through this? Someone put a post up that says, remember that you asked for growth. Don't be surprised when life challenges the fuck out of you. Bam. Love it. Admins, I'm gonna need you to keep track of these comments. We got spammers in here trying to put Telegram channels up and shit like that. And just so y'all know, that's not me doing that. I'm not putting any type of shit into the comments, and I'm not putting promoting other Telegram channels or none of that shit. So just make sure you know it's not me. Don't click on the link because you're gonna regret it. The bots. Okay. But I want to know, I want you to tell me. You know what, Jamila? I really wish I could just bring you in on this live to have a conversation with you about this. I would love to talk to you, Jamila, Miss Jalen. I would love to talk to you just to kind of get your perspective on what you were going through at that time. But your perception, but people's perceptions are skewed. But how many times have you stuck your neck out there? I mean, how many times have you just shitted on people that looked out for you, for somebody that didn't give a fuck about you? And then next thing you know, when the dust settles and everything's calm and you're done listening to this word spell that these people are putting on you, you're done listening to the spells, and all of a sudden everything clears and you can hear things again and you can see things again, but you look around you and all the genuine people that's around you ain't there no more. Now, you look crazy than a motherfucker. Now, you're all alone. Now, you ain't got no family around you to look out for you because you didn't want that. You wanted the lie. You wanted the lie. You wanted the false hope. You wanted the false dreams. Listen, when dealing in matters of the heart, it's hard out here when you're dealing with people that you love. It's not simple to just be on some old like, well, I just believed that this, that, and the third, and blah, 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 blah. I'm just going to try to, work this out or whatever. But then the question you got to ask yourself is, how much energy are you putting into a situation that you're trying to make work? Did it ever occur to you that the resistance that you're getting, there is a sign, or your ancestors are showing you, hey, slow the fuck down? Why are you getting this resistance? Slow down. Let me examine this again. The person that I love, do they really love me? Am I giving more efforts to this person than this person is giving to me? Yeah, but I'm going to pretend like I don't see that though. We go out here and we sacrifice ourselves for people because of our lack of discernment of people, because of this thing called love. But then I even have to question what that is. Because see, when you love someone, you're going to be happy no matter what decision that they choose to make. If they decide to move forward with their life or what have you, you're going to be happy for that person for making the best decision that they feel they need to make for themselves. But everybody that you come across that you love may not be a part of your healing journey and where you're going. Some of you guys have a lot of great destinies ahead of you, and the people that you're rocking with now can't go where you're going. So you got to ask yourself, well, what is it exactly that I'm holding on to? Exactly. Do I really love this person, or do I think I love this person? Do I love this person, or am I in love with this person? I want you guys to think about the decisions that you've been making thus far and why you're making them. Are you a person that operates out of fear all the time? I want you to examine this. Do you operate out of fear? Does fear play a major part in your life? Are you afraid to be alone? You need to sit back and you need to examine that about yourself. Sometimes we make crazy ass mistakes in love that is to our fucking detriment. But don't you ever love anybody more than you love yourself. If you find yourself in a situation where you love a person more than you love yourself, you need to go and check yourself and sit the fuck down and start looking at yourself and asking yourself what the fuck is going on. What's going on with me? You can't love someone when you don't even love yourself. You can't love someone whenever you don't take the time to show that you have the same love for yourself as you do for them. It's impossible. So whatever it is that you think you're doing, I can promise you it ain't got shit to do with love. It's got shit to do with selfishness, wanting to control the outcome of a situation. Ego, fear, unhealed state. You know, it's funny. I've been really paying attention to people that reach out to me that want to holla this, that, and the third as far as wanting me to assist them and things like that. But they don't have a full understanding of how serious I take this thing called healing. See, I don't ever want you guys on this channel to ever approach me on no groupie shit. I don't want you to ever to approach me on nothing other than that you're coming to me because you truly want to fucking heal. Not because you look up to me, not because I'm Mama Isis, not because I'm fairy godmother, not because of none of that shit. Don't come to me if you're not willing to heal. I don't want to sit down and have a conversation with you. See, my life is ran differently and I move differently. I don't allow people around me that's not operating in a healed state. It just can't happen. Because I understand everything that comes with that. So I had to learn how to chisel certain shit. So my thing is that I had to set boundaries up for myself to do what's best for me. But the one thing I can't stand is when people come to me and they're on that bullshit and they're not taking the healing as serious as they should. And because they're operating in an unhealed state, they're doing like a little bit of healing. They're doing like just enough. That's good enough for them. But then these same people go out here and judge others that are really putting in that work. They're putting in that work, the work that you refuse to do on yourself. Y'all the same motherfuckers that go out here and talk shit about the people who are sitting out here really putting the effort to heal. You unhealed motherfuckers will go out here and do that shit to people. I'm gonna call your asses out because you need to learn. You're gonna learn today. You're gonna learn. You them same niggas that go out here and look for that fucking boogeyman because you're in an unhealed state. See, people in an unhealed state are the ones who are looking for the boogeyman. So I want you guys to observe that about people that you are around. People that don't want to take any kind of personal responsibility for the decisions that they made. Because we need to talk about that. Let's talk about the dumbass decisions that we make. We make dumbass decisions. We don't discern properly, even when the fucking signs are being shown in our goddamn faces. We don't see it or we don't want to see it. Therefore, you're public enemy number one. I can't with you. This, that, and the third. Blah, 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 blah. Have you ever taken notice that when you hold people accountable, they fucking run? They can't fuck with you when you hold them accountable? Every single person I've ever held accountable runs from me. Every single person that I've ever held accountable hauls ass. They thought it was a joke. So when you come into this place, you come into this space, you're dealing with a different kind of energy. And I didn't come to play with none of y'all, especially if you're seeking me out. I'm not seeking you out. You sought me out. Remember? For whatever reasons that you sought me out, you sought me out. There was some part of you that wanted to heal. But then when you saw how real the shit was getting, because now you had to address all of your flaws, all your shortcomings, all the fuck shit you done did in your unhealed state, you don't want to deal with that. You'd rather run from that motherfucker right there. Oh, no, I can't. No, she holding me accountable. This shit, I got to go. She telling me the truth about this. Oh, hell no. Nah. That's the devil right there. That's the boogeyman. Look, man, I can't stress this enough. And I'm having this very real conversation with you guys because there's so many of you out here that do this shit to people. And you don't realize the damage you cause on the people that really loved you and really opened up their heart to you and really looked out for you. You need to ask yourself this question. What kind of a fucking human being are you? Are you a human being that operates from their heart space? Are you a human being that's operating from their logical mind, aka ego? You're going to have to make a conscious decision to examine yourself and be real with yourself about who and what you are. So you don't go out here and cause a shitload of hurt and pain on others who actually are in a healed state. There's nothing worse than seeing a person operate out of their unhealed state. It's a sickness. And a lot of people in America right now, everywhere really on the planet, are truly operating out of their ego and their unhealed states in some kind of way that's made to look like it's cute. And it's not. Are you the type of person that likes to go out here and be reckless and cause harm to people? I just want to know. Is that who you are? Have you asked yourself that question? Are you really about that life when it comes to your healing? Do you even really want to do that? Or are you not ready to face all them skeletons and them demons and shit like that? Your own boogeyman. Are you not ready to deal with the fact that you yourself are the boogeyman that you're externally out here looking for? You are the boogeyman. And because you're the boogeyman and you're so busy looking for this motherfucker, you're carrying out here you're pushing out here and projecting out here your unhealed state to everybody. I'm in a different space where I'm able to recognize a person when they're unhealed state. There's an understanding now that I have about that. Stop playing out here. Stop wasting people's time. Stop going out here and talking crazy about folk that went out here to try to help you. What you doing out here gossiping about people that went out here to try to help you? Like who? I want y'all to think about this. You gotta be a really fucked up ass person to go out here and call people on the phone and talk shit about them behind their back when all they did was look out for you the entire time. And because you got called out in your bullshit, you decide to go out here and slander and try to fuck people up. You got to be a certain type of fucked up out here to do that to people. I like this comment. This lady named Little Star Woman, she made a comment. She said, I was young and dumb. I was in love with the idea of being in love because I didn't want to be alone. And that's some real shit right there. See, those types of responses are responses that I look for. Because when you're operating in a healing space, there's no judgment. A lot of y'all out here love to judge people, but you got a whole bunch of goddamn skeletons in your own damn closet. The nerve of you. The nerve. Let me read this post from this lady. Her name is Connie Lotus. She said, I was in love with a man and I probably loved him more than I loved myself. He left me and got married and divorced his wife and came back looking for me this year. I was pregnant by this man, would have tried walking on water for him. He knew I loved him deep and he didn't marry me, but married and divorced, now came back to look for me and expects me to be that same person he left over 10 years ago. I had to bury the feelings I had for him then in order to move on with my life. But since we reconnected, those buried feelings have resurfaced, and I'm so confused, but I won't fall for the okie doke again. You're confused because you went backwards. Was your foundation strong, baby? I want you guys to think about this for a minute. We're living on a holographic 3D universe, and every experience that we have is a simulation. And the simulation experiences that you're having are there to teach you lessons. What lessons have you learned? How strong is your foundation? You know, this year has been bittersweet for me because there are people that I care about that thinks I'm the boogeyman because of gossip, because of people being in their unhealed state, because of dark energy being around these individuals. You know, you can tell the people the truth about a situation, but their perception of reality is their perception of reality, and that's where they're at. But their perception of reality, you have to come to an overstanding and an understanding that they're looking at things through a rose-colored glasses lens and an unhealed state of mind lens. But anytime that you see somebody going out here participating in these types of behaviors, just remind yourself that they're in an unhealed state. And if you're healed, there's no sense in engaging with them on that level. Sometimes you have to come to a place, fam, where you just gotta let people be where they are and let them learn their lessons and wish them well. That's what I've been doing a lot this year. People have come in my life, people have left out of my life. And I'm okay with being in that space. Because when you're in a healing space, especially with the shit that I'm learning about life and the goals that I'm working towards for my own life and my own elevation, you're going to lose a few folks when you're on your way up. They may not agree with this and they may not agree with that, but hell, human beings don't know how to communicate to know one another these days anyway. And that's part of the problem right there. Let me ask y'all a question. When you have an issue with someone, why do you go to everybody else to talk to them about it and not go to the person who you have the issue with? I just want to know the answer to that question. I want to know the various different, I like to see the very different responses. Why do you run from the person that you have the issue with, but you go and hit their people around them and talk to them about the issue? Why do y'all do that? Let me see these responses. I want to know. Why do people that have an issue with someone run to everybody else? Boss lady, you know you my girl for life, honey. And I love you, honey. They won't listen. They won't listen directly, so I reach out to those who surround them. Andre, I question that. Elisa Bomar, boom, they avoid conflict. There it is right there, and that's really the truth. That's really the truth. That's really the truth. To avoid conflict. To avoid being called out on your shit. To avoid being put in your place, possibly. To avoid having your flaws pointed out. To avoid you spazzing out on someone because you think you're so right and you just all fucking in your wrongness. Let me tell you something. People also do that shit because they know they've been doing some fucked up shit and they don't want to face you. Pay attention to people who can't look at you in their eyes when they talk to you. Pay attention to people that turn their head and hide and put their head down and all that kind of shit. Pay attention to that. They don't want to face you. Why? Because they know what kind of energy they're dealing with when they deal with you. If you're in a healed state, they know what they're dealing with. They know you ain't the one for that extra shit. They know this. So they'll hit everybody else around you, but won't come to the source. Why? Because they know the source ain't nothing to play with. If you come to the source is going to let you know what it is, and you're going to have to come real with the truth. You can't come at me with a lie. I'm going to shut you the fuck down. Period. And I'm going to pull out receipts, and I'm going to make you look extra crazy. Extra crazy. And believe me when I tell you, the receipts I have on motherfuckers is ridiculous. They don't want to deal with that. What they want to do is they want to project and say they didn't do this and say they didn't do that and all this other shit. Well, we know that you did it. The stupidest thing that any of you guys could ever do is try to run game on a fucking experienced medium of 25 fucking years. You got to be one simple-minded, goddamn disconnected motherfucker to think that you're going to run that game. And not to mention that the people that they associate with are also experienced mediums that have the ability to look into you at will. Let's just say that you're not dealing with any of that shit. Let's say you're not dealing with any of those types of people, but you're dealing with someone that is extremely perceptive and understands human behavior and how it works. You're not running no game on them motherfuckers either. Just because they're astute listeners to the things that you say and hear the contradictions in the things that you say. And then when they call you your ass out on your shit, oh, you want to run and hide under a fucking couch. It's kind of like a little kid that comes up and smacks somebody in the fucking face and then runs into the other room and runs outside because they know there's going to be retaliation back. Childish ass shit. Toy said, I think they do it to get validation from others and avoid conflict. But what validation are they actually getting? And validation from whom? And what validation are they actually getting? Like, what value is the validation? I don't get it. Because you're too big. You're people are out here losing genuine, real fucking connections. Doing this stupid ass shit and playing these dumbass games. People are losing real connections because they don't have the ability to speak up and communicate and express how they feel. Sometimes situations will result in conflict. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to cuss the person out and the person's going to cuss you out and there's going to be raising the voice. That's not necessarily what that means. Sometimes a conflict might be necessary to get to the bottom of a situation so you clear the fucking air. But y'all got to stop being afraid to communicate and open up your mouth and talk or speak your truth about how you feel. But remember, truth is also based upon perception. Perception is reality for most people. So even though they can be in the wrongness and their reality, they're right. That's why I always tell people you got to be careful how you treat people out here. Because their perception of you could be skewed based upon their own life experiences and how they process the information. They only have that to go on. Sometimes you could be so right, you could be wrong. Have you ever heard that term before? Being so right that you're wrong? Tara Starseed said the reason why it happens is because you want to be right about them and you want to see if others see the same thing. You see, you want, that's true. And Tara, you said something very real. That's a very real statement. And this goes back to what I was saying before about looking for the boogeyman. Do you guys have any idea how many times people have came at me looking for the fucking boogeyman? Just because I was very direct with them and straight to the point and just told them what it was. And they didn't like what I had to say. And they got offended by what I had to say. And all of a sudden, I'm the goddamn boogeyman. You know how many times that's happened in my life? See, when you're operating in a space of healing, you're going to have enemies. I know this sounds crazy, but it's the truth. When you make a commitment to heal, you are going to have enemies.
When you're progressing in your healing and people are not, you're going to have enemies. Why? Because you are a direct reflection of what they are not. That's why. When they see your success, see your happiness, see your growth, see your progress, you are showing them what they are not. And that incites jealousy. And that incites envy in people's hearts. Meanwhile, they didn't realize the opportunity they had to get on the winning team because they realized that they had to put in real work. They didn't realize that to be on the winning team that they had to actually put that real work in. They didn't realize that part. See, a lot of people think that they can skate past shit and think that they can skip steps. And a lot of y'all do it out here. You think that if you just do the bare minimum, that should be good enough. That's good enough for you. But when you're dealing with certain people of a certain caliber, it's not good enough for them. Maybe some things are just out your league. That could also happen too. It is what it is. Just be honest about where you are when you're dealing with people. Just be honest about where you are. It's okay. If you're not there, I understand. I wish you nothing but the best. Move forward. I'm happy for you. No ill feelings, no nothing. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to be in my fucking face. And you're not going to be disrespectful to me. You're not going to be disrespectful to the people that I have in place. You're not going to be disrespectful to my family. You're not going to be disrespectful for those who actually put in the fucking work and took the shit seriously and took it to another level that you couldn't or that you refused not to. And then turn around and demonize them and turn them into the fucking boogeyman because deep down inside, your ass is the goddamn boogeyman. That's what you're not going to do. And I suggest that all of y'all get in that space where you let people know from the gate, if you're on that tight time, goodbye. Because I'm not on what the fuck you're on. Whatever you're thinking about, I'm not on that. Examine your actions. Examine why you're doing the shit that you're doing. Examining why people have an issue with you if you think that's really happening, but you don't know because you didn't communicate. Stop trying to control a fucking situation that you can't control. That's beyond you. Stop being in a space where you feel like you can control other people. It cannot be done. You cannot control the outcome of a situation, y'all. That's the illusion. And I know some of y'all have been in these situations many, many times because you don't want to be hurt. You don't want to lose something. That's ego. That's all fucking ego. All of it. Every single piece of it is all ego. If you really love something, let them the fuck go. And love yourself more. I had people around me that I admired and adored and literally saw them flip the fucking script on me so fucking quick due to outside interference and people being jealous and witchcraft and people not being exposed to shit, whatever, it happens. You know what I'm saying? But seeing how people just forget the conversations, the talks, the efforts to save your life when you was in trouble, when you didn't have nobody else to turn to. You don't shit on the jewels in your life, niggas. That's ass backwards thinking. That's how you end up alone without nothing. That's how you lose your blessings. Because you wasn't able to discern a blessing when it was right there in front of your fucking face. People miss out on opportunities to grow. People miss out on opportunities for success. People miss out on opportunities for true happiness just because of their goddamn ego. Or they wanted to control a situation that they know damn well they couldn't control. Ladies be out here putting witchcraft on dudes because you're insecure as fuck. You trying to keep that nigga close to you. Dudes out here beating on women and fucking playing head games on women and all types of shit like that because you want to keep her in a low self-esteem so she'll always need you. It ain't your job to do any of that type of shit. You can't say you love someone and then fuck them up at the same goddamn time. That ain't love, baby. That's a sickness. You need to examine why you are afraid to let people go. If someone comes to me and says, okay, well, I'm going to leave, goodbye. I'm not going to be fighting you to come back. I'm not doing that shit. I'm not putting in no effort. I'm not doing that. People have their own destinies that they got to live, and they got their own lessons that they need to learn. That journey stopped with me the moment that you decided that when you said, I'm out. Okay, well, then I'm going to go ahead and I'll holler back. Let me go ahead and close this door now. Go on about your business now, baby. I'm not even mad at you for leaving. Goodbye. I came to an inner peace about that. That some people are going to stay and some people are going to go. You got to be in a space. You got to be in an okay space with that. You got to come to a place of acceptance of where people are. You have to. There's many people I helped to get on their journey. Now, what they decide to do with that journey, I have no idea. It ain't none of my damn business. I did my part when you came to me. And I gave you guidance on what you need to do. And at the end of the day, I know what I did to bring a significant turning point in your life. And I'm okay with that because I know at the end of the day, you're never going to forget about me. You're going to always remember this is the person who came into my life and believed in me enough for me to do this. And I got this far because of it. I can't even front. Now, you may not say that right away because you're in your ego, but deep down inside, you know what it is. You know what it is. It won't matter what you say to the public. It'll matter what you deal with when you go to sleep at night. Everybody has to live with decisions and choices that they make. Whether they display that to the public or they don't, they still got to live with themselves. They still got to look at themselves in the mirror every day if they can do that, if they can actually look at themselves in the mirror. I'm looking at the comments. Dior made a comment. I like this comment. He says, and I hope you're a he. If you're not, I apologize. When they think about confrontation, they start recognizing all their own wrongs. So they need to tell their fake side of the story so people to feel safer in their wrongs. Boom! Y'all hear that? There's no reason why you should be on a channel like this and you still operating like a motherfucking fool. Because I don't tolerate that shit. I'll boot your ass right on off of here and won't think twice about it. My admins will move your ass off this channel so goddamn fast because I don't have time for it. And I don't care about your opinions. This is my fucking house. And I invite you as a guest in my house. Period. And when I say goes when it comes to the rules of my shit. Period. Because I'm trying to create a community of people that know how to think for themselves, of people that are on their path. We don't have time for the extra shit you niggas, the other niggas are on. We ain't got time for that shit. We ain't got time for your bullshit ass disruptions. We don't have time for your petty ass goddamn judgments. We don't have time for that shit. If you don't like it, there's the door. Unsubscribe. But I made my position very clear from the beginning when I first came out and started talking to y'all on social media. What you see is what you get, but I'm not here to play games with y'all. I'm here to help you clean your shit up. And and help you get your foundation stronger than what it actually was. My mission is to see a lot of people healed and on their actual journeys. That's the mission. But you don't come to me to play with me on that level. You don't come to me with bullshit ass games. Oh well, I'm just nigga, get the fuck out of here. Stop allowing people to come into your life that aren't being real about where they are. If you are healed or you are on a healing journey, you know exactly where you are. Set up your boundaries and let it be known. I ain't got time for the extra shit. We cool, but I ain't got time for that extra shit. If I feel as though that what you're doing begins to start affecting my state of mind and my well-being, goodbye. Something's going to be sacrificed. It ain't going to be me. Meaning that goodbye. Your ass got to go. If more of y'all started doing more of that, start setting up personal boundaries for yourself about what you're going to tolerate and what you're not going to tolerate. And if you took the time out to really put in some real work, to really love on yourself a whole lot more, your whole world would begin to start changing. And the people in your life will adjust to your changes. They have to. They have to adapt to your changes. But if you got people in your life that's fake, that don't want to take any accountability for the shit they do when they get called out on their shit. See, niggas don't call me on the phone when they on that type time because they already know what's going to happen. How many times have you guys heard me speak to you and you felt an activation on point? How many times have you heard me do a live? Or how many times have you been a part of my meditations where you feel the energy that I'm working with? So you guys already know I'm not to be played with when it comes on that level. I say, I don't give a fuck about what niggas got to say outside of me. You're not in my inner circle. I don't even know who the fuck you are. Whatever the fuck you want to say it, whatever. I don't give two shits about you. But if you're going to be in my space and you're going to be talking crazy, I will breathe the breath of truth in your ass. I will speak the truth right into your ass. And you guys have never felt that frequency before when I start to do that. It gets very, very intense for people who are operating on a lower level vibrational bullshit when they're ducking and hiding and don't want to deal with their shit. Them demons start coming out their ass. I start casting demons out of niggas. I want y'all to get to that level where when you speak the truth so real and it comes from your heart space that them demons literally start leaving the people when you speak to them. And all their bullshit. Speak the truth. Speak it with love. Don't be self-righteous, but speak it. Get on your journey. Heal. Take yourself more seriously than anybody else should take you at this point. You have to get to a certain level of understanding of self. But you got to first come to terms with the fact that the only boogeyman outside of you, the only boogeyman outside of you is actually you. The only boogeyman that there is the mirror. Hell, I've been accused of it. Like literally, people literally have to see. Let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell y'all how crazy this shit is. There's a lot of things I do not tell y'all. There's a lot of things I do not tell y'all. But I've had people literally witness fuck shit come from people towards me. And they'll be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I literally just watched this person do this, and this. Then that same person turn around and try to play victim. They watched the shit play out right in front of my, I'm talking about from the beginning of the situation all the way to the fucking end. Literally. Make sure you're clear about the journey you're on when you get into healing, because healing other people is no fucking joke. Because you have forces and oppositions out here that don't want to see anybody healed. They would rather you allow your shadow to lead. Because see, while your shadow is leading, then they get to come in and influence you to do even lower vibrational shit. And then once you get to a certain point of low vibration, you start entering into a state of depression. And then it just goes down from there. I'm going to be doing another live called Spiritual Warfare 2 that I'm working on, where I'm going to drop some new science, and I can't wait to drop this shit on y'all because y'all going to be fucking tripping when I drop the Spiritual Warfare 2. Spiritual Warfare is actually going to be a series that I'm working on. Then I got another one called Spiritual Blessings. And I'll actually talk about how you can actually bring in and manifest the blessings into your life, but you must be operating from a healed state. So if you're not operating from a healed state, this particular live won't be for you. There are certain types of energies that you can tap in and get access to when you operate from the heart space. There's certain things that you will never get access to if you're not operating from the heart space. Certain types of energies, certain types of activations that you can receive, elevations that you can receive once you start operating from your heart space. There's levels to this shit. And there's a lot of work that you got to put in to get to certain levels of growth within yourself. And I want you guys to really hear me when I say this. When I say levels, I'm talking about the growth of the individual self is what I'm talking about. The individual self growth. That's why I stress the importance of shadow work so heavy. And why it's so important that you do that, because it helps you set up a solid foundation to the core of who you are. It helps you clear out all the baggage so you can see things clearly. You can't see anything clearly when you're operating from an unhealed state. It's impossible. Let me look at these comments. Yeah, at Chef G, I feel you on that. She said, I was respectfully honest and critiqued for it, then made the mistake of enabling it, and that was also a problem. I decided to just remove my energy completely. You got it. Never make the mistake of enabling anyone's behavior when it's negative. You're going to have to check that shit at the door no matter how uncomfortable it might be. Okay? You're going to have to check that shit at the door no matter how uncomfortable it may be. Kango D said, this year has taught me that being authentic, honest, and honoring yourself is necessary. Even if I messed up and fell off my journey due to not thinking and not being aware of my surroundings internally and externally, healing is a lifelong journey that I found difficult at first because of fear. So I thank you, Isis, for the gems, the meditations, and working on healing. Boom, no problem. And I appreciate you for that. TJ McFarland says, hey, Isis, I need help. Recently, I've been trying to wake everyone up. I watch a lot of Rashad, and I'm inspired to help and awaken Kai, but I don't know if I'm helping or hurting myself and others. I feel like I'm not ready for this type of path, but I'm not sure if I ever will be. Should I fall back? Well, number one, you got to come to a space, baby, and understanding you can't force anyone to do what they don't want to do. Your job is simply to put out the information and keep it moving. I'm not up here trying to save the goddamn world. I ain't trying to save no one. What I do is I put out the necessary information that people can go and activate themselves with the information or not. learn from the information or not. You can't control people, baby. Just because your job is not to wake people up. That ain't your job. Your job is simply to put the information out there and keep it trucking. Now, if people are inquiring about the information that you're given, then you can share the information about why you're saying this and have an exchange, et cetera, et cetera. Yes. But for you to be upset because you got a bunch of folks out here that don't want to wake up, that want to remain asleep, let them sleep. They may not be in their journey to wake up yet. People are only going to wake up according to the experiences that they have. They may not have had the necessary experiences yet to put them in a space for them to wake up. Usually that happens when you go through some type of ass whipping in life, or you got to learn some type of lesson, or you take some type of loss, or there's some type of lesson you got to learn. That's how the growth happens. That's how you expand in your consciousness. This is how you gain wisdom. You gain wisdom from learning lessons. You gain growth by learning lessons. And no one ever said that the lessons that you were going to learn was going to be easy, was not going to be painful. If people were content with where they are, they don't put in the effort to grow. That's why we have adversity, so we can grow. Everybody has certain lessons that they have to learn. And whatever happens in a person's life, it might be because of choices and decisions that they made that led them up to wherever they got to. But don't be out here trying to save folks, fam. And don't be out here trying to wake folks up. Do your YouTube videos or your IG videos or whatever it is that you're doing. Put out the information, share it, and keep it trucking, fam. That's the best advice I'm going to give you. But don't stop. Don't stop. Find out your niche and find out what works for you and what people will gravitate towards. But your approach is probably why they're not receptive to you. You got to let people be where they are. This is what I mean when I say about coming to a place of acceptance. You're not accepting the fact that the people want to remain asleep. I love my family to death. Love them to death. But there's this certain shit about them that irks my goddamn nerves with that 3D shit they be on sometimes. I be looking at them like, I love y'all to death. Y'all know I love y'all to death, but y'all on some bullshit, period. I express myself, and it's funny as shit, because it's like the dynamic of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you got those who are, you know, they're 3D and they like being in a 3D world and they like that shit. And then you got the spiritual motherfucker in the house. You know, you also got that one that's in the house that's gonna be the voice of reason or the voice of consciousness or the voice of, well, let me share this information with you or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, our synergy and our dynamic actually works. I just be myself around them, and then they start asking questions. I don't try to force nothing on them because they don't listen to me when I try to do that. But if I'm just myself and I'm just around them and I'm just myself, and they might hear a conversation happening, or they might have heard something, or they might have listened to a live or whatever the hell, they might start asking me questions. Like that live you did about this. So that's true. Tell me more about that. They'll start doing shit like that. Just be yourself. There's power in taking accountability. It feels nice. Yes, it does. Caddy Lotus says, sis, I had family all my life talk about me behind my back, and God is my witness. All I ever did was love these people. I never can understand how you can help and love people all the time and they turn around and treat you like they're your enemy. And this is effing blood relatives I speak of. My past has taught me so much that's why I'm so grateful for the gift of discernment. And that's all that's all it is, hon. That's all it is. Everybody that you guys are running into that's acting a fool are people that are under unhealed state. But always remember this. Just because you see somebody out here acting up in their unhealed state does not mean that you need to go ahead and entertain them in that unhealed state. A lot of times I just shut up. I don't say nothing to nobody. I just let people rant and go off and do what they got to do and keep it pushing. Sometimes it's not best to have responses back to people because it just keeps the drama going, depending on the situation. Or the situation might be too hot or too heated before you can sit down and have a conversation with that person. There's people I didn't talk to for a whole fucking year and they came back around on some, I had to take some time to reflect and think. And to be honest, you the only motherfucker I know that looked out for me like this. Everybody around me did not look out for me the way that you did. But see, now you fucked up the relationship. Because I don't go backwards. I'm very forgiving. I just don't go backwards. And I'll continue to love you from afar. I started really understanding the value of my own energy, really starting to really accept it and come to terms with it. And it's funny because since I've gotten that space of really truly valuing my own energy, I'm extremely careful about people that I allow around me now. I'm very selective about it. Extremely. I was selective before, but this is different. It's a different thing going on. You got to say to yourself, people should be privileged to be in your space. That's how much you got to value yourself. And that ain't ego. That's confidence. People should be privileged to be in your space. Why? Because I know that my energy really does change people's lives. It really does. And I could put plenty of people on this channel that will tell you that I've helped them and their lives have changed. My energy is very valuable. That's what you got to tell yourself every day. My energy is valuable. It's not to be played with. Like I told you once before, you teach people how to treat you based upon how you treat yourself. They're only going to treat you based upon how you treat yourself. If they see you setting up boundaries, they're going to adjust quickly because they don't want to lose that connection. You are of value to them. Then you got some idiots out here that don't recognize value. They don't recognize shit because they operate in such a low vibrational state that they lose out on their opportunities, and then they just fucked up. And then next thing you know, it'll be another 10 more years before that opportunity comes around. Listen to me very carefully, ladies and gentlemen. Stop asking for things that you're not ready for. Because the universe will meet you where you are. And the universe will give you what you ask for. But don't be the person that gets what you asked for, and then you turn around and you shit on the blessing. It literally takes 10 years before that same blessing will come back around again. Because the universe ain't got time to be playing no games with you. This quantum physics computer ain't got time to play no goddamn games with you. You said you wanted this, you got it, and you weren't ready for it. How many of you went through that process where you prayed, or you put out an affirmation, or you spoke something, and you swore up and down you was ready for it, and then it came, and you realized, that, oh shit, I wasn't ready for it. How many of y'all went through that experience? Fortune Blessed 777 says, I have found that on my spiritual journey, there was a lot of things that I had to let go of and was doing well with. But here as of late, it seems like something has been trying to make me go backwards just a little. In other words, energy vampires trying to come back into my life that I know were removed for a good reason. Boundaries. Staying Up says, I wasted 5 years on that and I wasn't ready for it. That's deep. A lot of people think that they're ready for a particular blessing, and then when it comes their way, they realize that they're not ready for it. Isn't that interesting? How many times have you guys went out here and loathed off of people that, I mean, not loathed, but lusted after people, off the things that people attained and acquired, and still maintains, right? And you lusted after that because you wanted that Bentley, or you wanted this, you wanted that Chanel purse, or you wanted this Louis Vuitton this, or you wanted to have this look of that, or whatever the hell it is that you aspire to be, or whatever your perception of what success looks like. And then when it shows up on your doorstep, you realize that you're not even built like that to not only not receive it, but also to maintain it. You want to know why? Because one of the biggest secrets that they don't tell you about people that's successful is that they had to go through a lot of shit to get there. They had to take a lot of L's to get there. They had to do a lot of character building to get there. They had to deal with a lot of crazy people that didn't believe in their fucking dream to get there. Do you know how much growth and wisdom comes from a process of being able to run a company worth millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, or billions of dollars, or just running a company, period? Running a company, being able to maintain a staff. Do you know what kind of fortitude that you have to have? Do you know what kind of sweat and hard work and tears a person has to have before your self-entitled ass comes at the person the wrong way? You niggas want everything easy. You don't want to put the work in, but you want to feel self-entitled to some shit that you ain't worked for. You want to count other people's pockets. But you didn't put in the fucking work to get to my level. But you feel entitled to be on my level. I tell people all the time, if you think you can do it, do it. I'm not gonna knock you. Go on out here and do it. Go on out here and deal with all the extra shit that comes with that. Because see, to be in my space, you got to have a certain type of skin, a certain type of tough skin to be in my space. Because niggas will come at you left and right for no reason. No reason other than the fact that they have jealousy and hate in their hearts. So you got to have a certain type of awareness, a certain type of discernment, a certain type of fortitude, a certain type of groundedness. And, you know, it doesn't come easy. See, you got to go through a lot of experiences to obtain that. That's not some shit you're just going to get. That's where the self-entitlement comes into play, because you didn't go through the necessary steps that it took to be a successful person. What is your plan? Where's your 5-year business plan at? Where's your business license at? Where's your EIN number at? Where's your bank account at? Where's the dollars at that you need to promote your fucking business? Where's the knowledge base at? Where's the wisdom at? Where's the inner strength at? Where the sleepless nights? All kinds of shit that you got to go through to get to a point to where you're now able to sail and be stable from your own sweat and labor. And all of a sudden, somebody new wants to come in and tell you how to run your shit that they put no fucking work in. That thinks this shit's easy. You want to feel self-entitled to shit that you didn't work for. Then when you get the shit, you realize you can't handle it, so you lose it anyway. Sometimes it takes for you to go through experiences like that to put your ass in check. But when the person don't get what they want from you, you're the boogeyman. Because you have the wisdom, the knowledge, and experience, and you understand. And you can have foresight on a person who's inexperienced, or you can see what's going on with them. But because they can't get their way, you're the boogeyman. You're the fucking boogeyman. Sydney Nicole said,
I'm so glad you're speaking about all of this. This past weekend, a good friend of mine was displaying selfish ass behavior, operating an ego, and kept speaking about being on demon time. When it's a group trip, all must be considered of others' time and money. As for him, he simply did not care. I sense there's something deeper going on. Of course. Divine Max. I believe I'm in a test right now of acceptance of self. Being able to let go and shed parts of my old self after asking for growth and forward movement. It gets tough because as I shed, I'm unclear what I'm supposed to be doing next. The test is recognizing the patterns and not moving backwards, but trusting whatever's coming next. And also healing from the old wounds and those traumas you've been carrying around. Everyone ain't built. Miss Lakeisha Williams says, everyone ain't built for what it really takes to level up and maintain that level daily, no matter what comes at you. Boom. Oh my goodness. Now that was a real statement for your ass right there. Real ass goddamn statement. If I've ever heard one. But you want to be self-entitled though. Mafia says, can you consistently sacrifice to aspire towards your goals? It takes tenacity, ambition, and fortitude. Yes, you can, but focus is necessary. Ashe. Now, this is very interesting. This is a very interesting comment from Tamia. She says, I know I'm built for it. I can and will, but I refuse to overwork myself. Thank you, mama. It's back to growth, love, and business. Thank you, baby. But I will say this one thing, though. You ain't going to get no business of your own if you don't overwork yourself for a period of time when you first start off a company, baby. And anybody telling you that that can be done is lying to you. You're going to spend countless hours and have many sleepless nights for a period of time until you get to that level. Unless you're born into it and you have a family business that's being passed down to you. And even with that, if it's maintained a specific way, you're still going to have that because you have to get adjusted to what it takes to maintain the consistency of a business, especially if you got employees involved. You got people's livelihoods in your hand. They don't want to hear when they spend their hard-earned labor that you can't pay them. You have to pay. Because labor ain't free. So if you don't have the money to pay for the man hours, then guess who's going to replace that? You. You will. You're going to do that. Anybody that says that they started a business from scratch and they didn't have to put any work in, they a motherfucking liar. I'm going to tell you that right now. Unless mommy and daddy pass the business on down to them, they're a fucking liar. Unless they hit the jackpot, and even if they hit the jackpot, if you don't know shit about the structure of a business, you're going to take some L's. This is what I mean about dealing with the reality of situations, guys. What your perception is or requires to maintain shit on that level is not entirely, it's not accurate until you put yourself through that on that level. And then you'll start realizing that this shit ain't easy. All right, guys, I'm going to get off here. I hope you enjoyed your morning snack. But remember this, there is no boogeyman, but the one that you look at in the mirror every day. There is no boogeyman except for that unhealed shadow part of yourself. Okay? Get that in order first. Then come back and holler at me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll speak soon. Peace.